And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our American Terran player, the Red Terran representing Match Arena Esports. It is Future. This Eon is from Costa Rica. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player from land of Belarus representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich. Here we go. And I'm just setting things up. Here we go. No. Less than 3. As we are going to be calming things down, and we are going to be opening up with 2x Reaper. It looks to be the case. Future are going to be calming things down. Okay, well, we can focus on our series. As a reminder, for some context, as to this best of 3, it is going to be Future versus Nikich. Winner goes up against Eon in the next round, in the semifinals. Oh boy, so this can go either way. As Future is going to be skipping his first Reaper, going Reactor first. Okay, bold move. Future going for a Rax expand with the Reactor first. Crazy opener. This is not 2x Reaper. Okay, Future, my eyes are on you. My eyes are on you. Oh. Future's bringing it all together. As a reminder as well, Future is residing in the land of South Korea. Future is in Korea at the moment. He's living along the other NA players like Estrella, Trigger, and Clem. Now from NA, Kappa. Has been adopted and being influenced as we speak by the other NA boys. But they are all residing together in the land of Korea. And we'll see how Future can compare to some of these other more regulars in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. We shall see. As for now, we do open up Reactor into Marine. Hunting down Overlords. Okay, so it's going to be a Rax expand with a Reactor first into Marine production. We're going to be able to catch an Overlord. At least we attempt to. Overlord is going to be under fire. Nikich, meanwhile, did open up Hatch Gas Pool. And does end up finding that Overlord. Overlord does go down. Future pulling back, massing up more Marines. And may even find another Overlord as well. Oh my god! We get a second Overlord! 2 Overlords do go down. Future getting some good value here so far with this Mass Marine opener, following it up with our factory, with our starport. It's going to be a 1-1-1 follow-up. But it looks like because we have so many Marines this early on, we can go for a medevac. I'm curious if we go for an add-on swap for medevacs or just Hellions into a medevac on its own. A Cyclone even! Okay, let him cook, Pappy. Let him cook. Future, he's bringing his own to the table. Future is going to be bringing his own builds here to the table at Sparkling Tuna Cup. Going Mass Marine with our first medevac with a Cyclone as well. A bit of a kitchen sink kind of move out. Bearing in mind these are vanilla Marines, there's no stim. No stim, no combat shields, no upgrades. Just pure Marine. As pure as you can get. Cyclones coming in to reinforce. I guess they're going to be the backbone of this army. Marines are moving out. Medevac as well to support. And we'll see what we can get done. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have 6 queens. 6 queens. We have some lings. Some lings, but not much. And this is catching Nikich a bit off guard. Again, this is sub 5 minutes here. A really early push. We really expect Hellions to be moving out, not this. We don't commit. We clear up some creep. We clear some creep. We're hunting down more Overlords. Speaking of, we do find one. Another Overlord going to be going down. Overlord is cleaned up. And even catching some free links. Like, nothing too major, but some nice value nonetheless here out of Future. Likewise, he's also pinned behind the mineral line, making sure he does not get surrounded by any lings, making sure he's safe and sound. And back at home, we're transitioning into our 3-1-1 setup. We have reactor and medevac production, we have Marines on the way, Stim has now begun for Future. Getting ready for that mid-game. Again, we got here in a kind of a weird way, but we're getting there. With our eventual Stim and +1 timing. Meanwhile, Nikich, because of the map, of course, we barely even got to speak about it, but we're loading into Crimson Court. The third base is quite secure. You can see, despite all this aggression from Future, the third base is safe and sound, as it's here on the right-hand side, and you don't really gain access to this base unless you can knock down rocks or mine through these minerals. So it's hard to apply pressure, and Nikich has been happily mining. Despite the value that Future has gotten, hasn't gotten any economic damage. And Nikich, he's going for mutas, okay! Spire has been thrown down. It is going to be Lingbane Muta out of Nikich. It's going to be Lingbane Muta. Likewise, Future pushing forward, reinforcing with the tank. Getting behind the mineral line. Nikich is getting ready for this move out. Failing speed halfway done. Speed is halfway done. We're getting on top of the fourth hatchery. Tanks, the positioning here of these tanks is insane, by the way. It's brutal. It's gonna be so difficult to engage. Ooh, as the Cyclones barely pull away, we deny the hatchery. That was a cancel on that hatchery. And Future is gaining ground. Mutas are on the way, but Mutas, I don't know if they're really going to be the best answer here. Not against this kind of setup. As Future's been so meticulous here with his movements. Just edging ever closer. First stim is going to be spent. Dancing with the army. Third tank has arrived. Setting up here on the edge. Covering the ramp as well. Covering reinforcements. Scan reveals the mutas. Yeah, the mutas are revealed. Big tank volley is going off. Mutas are going for the tanks. Ooh, but the Cyclones are in position. The Cyclones, they're barely alive, but they will support the tanks. They do keep them safe. Oof. Muta taking some hits. Liberators have arrived. And again, no third CC behind this. This is a 2-base all-in out of Future. And once again, he covers the ramp. Delaying reinforcements. Or catching reinforcements even. And it's just been a slow push. At the same time, Nikich is trying to break out. He's trying to get us around. But these rocks are working against Nikich here. They were left alone. We collapse in. Yeah, we pull the trigger. We go for the dive. We take down the first tank. Bailings are trying to crash in as well. But the stunner stepping. Yeah, the spread is too good, the split is too good, and Future, he has broken through. GG gets called, and Future will take game number 1. GG. A very, very interesting style out of Future. I don't blame Nikich. He was caught off guard. Nikich was caught with his pants down. Clearly, when it comes to dealing with a 2-base all-in, I mean, knocking down those rocks needed to be a priority, just so we can get us around, just so we can get a better engagement going from the side of Nikich. But again, he was caught off guard. I was caught off guard as well. It was just a really peculiar opener out of Future, leading into that eventual 2-base all-in. But yeah, it was a really interesting build, and it was a little bit more difficult to keep up with. And in the end, Future was able to bring it all together, able to pick Nikich apart. And by the time Nikich realized what was going on, it was too late. By the time he realized that he needed to bring down those rocks, that he needed to set up a better surround and a better engagement, it was too late. And Future was already in his natural. GG. GG, well played. With that, Future takes a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Go. As we're settling into our next game. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. In the top left-hand corner, we have the American Terran player. The Red Terran representing Matcherino Esports. It is Future. Leading the series 1-0 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Belarus representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich. Here we go. I do apologize, I just opened up the predictions. Things are just getting really chaotic, and I was very quickly jumping into another series, and I wasn't quite ready for it, so I do apologize, but predictions are now open. We are mid-series, so predictions may be weighted in one way more than the other, as Future goes to the eBay block against Zerg. This is often not seen, but this is a very stylistic move out of Future, going for the eBay block. Going to be delaying the expansion and forcing lost mining time. Fun fact, Future does do this. He even did this when he was in Korea earlier last year against players like Solar, against players like DRG, and Future did find a lot of success with this. It's just a way to disrupt the opener of the Zerg. As the eBay is going to be cancelled, and Nikich can now expand. But again, did cost him a lot of mining time. And back at home, Future is settling in once again with the racks on the low ground. And I believe this was a CC first. Because we had spent resources on the eBay, we couldn't afford the initial racks, so went for a CC first to maintain our economy. We didn't want to delay the expansion, so CC into racks, into a second racks as well. Once again, wild build. Okay, Future, okay. What do you have for us? What do you have this time? Is it just going to be a 2 racks opener, or do we have a 3rd racks in mind as well? Like, where are you taking us? I'm strapped in, Bobby. I'm ready for the trip. As the Overlord will confirm the racks on the low ground at least. Let's get eyes on the initial racks. Do have our backup on the way. It's going to be Reactor first once again, so it looks like we're going for initially Marines. But we're going to have a lot of Marines to work with early on, especially with that second racks. And back at home, Nikich, do you see what I see? A lack of drones. We have 8 Lings on the way. That's a hefty amount of Lings already at this point. And Nikich, he's not going to stop. Yeah, more Lings in production. Balin has thrown down. We're going for an all-in. Nikich, he's had enough of the shenanigans of Future. He's like, mate, I don't know what you're doing. I don't care. I'm going to be the aggressor this time. Nikich does not get into the main base, but does spot a Marine. Is it tell? I believe the Marine came from the high ground. And Nikich, he will confirm. He gets eyes on the second racks. He gets eyes on the factory. And the Lingbane is amassing. No bunker, no wall. We're wide open. Future, he's wide open here on the low ground. Lings have arrived. They're going for the Marines. They're stepping so far, but one Marine goes down. One Marine does fall. Second Marine as well does fall, and we're losing too much. We're bleeding out too much. We're going for the reactor. More Lings are amassing. Nikich, he shuts down the reactor. And now we have limited Marine production. We still have no wall. We're trying to wall off. But Link Speed kicks in. We collapse on the army. 2 Marines left. 2 Marines remaining, and they barely do survive. We get a second Marine out. 2 more Marines go down, and it looks like we have broken through. We have done it. Just barely. I say that. More Lings are coming. And Future has to give up on the low ground. And Balings are now on the way. And Future barely has any units left. And 1 Marine pops out. 1 Hellion as well. But it costs us so much. As we lost 12 SCVs already. And Balings, they do want Lin. And they're making their way into the main base. They're going for the mineral line. They're going for the SCVs. We're going for the kill. And we get some big connections. Oof, SCVs go down. We shut down the Hellion as well. And Nikich, he has done it. I mean, we still have a handful of Hellions coming out. We still have some units to work with, but against a tight Zerg, it's not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Nikich ties up the series 1-1. GG, punishing the lack of Scout, punishing the lack of Reaper, as Future had no idea what was going on, and by the time he realized, it was too late. By the time he realized that it was a Link Flood, there was no bunker, there was no wall off, there was no Sim City. Without it, GG. And a big reason why we weren't ready: no SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout. Future cutting too many corners and is punished for it. And now we have an ace match. We have a game 3. Let's go. to have a game 3. And we're loading into Oceanborn. Oh boy. I see Fiant just woke up. Good morning, Fiant. Good morning. Oh, bright and early. Bright and early. What time is it in Sweden? Sweden time. Midday. Chat dead. Midday. 2 p.m. 3 p.m. Ay, ay, ay. Este Fiant. But we're going to be settling into the ace match. It all ends here and now on Oceanborn, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our American Terran player, the Red Terran representing Matcherino Esports, being forced into the ace match, being punished for his own opener this time. We'll see if we can bring him back. It is a Future. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes from the land of Belarus, bringing it back and forcing the ace match. It is Nikich. There we go. I see someone in the chat. Where is Miyamaika? Miyamaika, he is not the most active anymore. He's not the most active player. He pops in from time to time, but not as often as we would like, unfortunately. Miyamaika now, I believe has a full-time job and is now focusing on other aspects of his life, which makes sense. So we don't get to see Miyamaika as often as we used to. A little bit sad, but, wish Miyamaika the best. Wish him the best in his endeavors. And I hope to see Miyamaika come back one day. Hope to see him come back. Here we go. As we do calm things down. For now, Future going for our expand, going for a Rax expand here on the low ground. And my eyes, do they deceive me? Standard build. We have Future opening up with a Rax expand. This time there's no crazy Rax on the low ground into reactor first. There's no eBay block or anything like that. Future does calm things down. We do settle in, and we're opening up in a much more standard fashion. Let's go. Reaper across the map to harass, to scout, more importantly. Future's calming down. Let's go. Is gonna calm things down. Reaper moves out. Getting to the mineral line. Drone's under fire. Up! Oh my god. Barely does not get the drone kill. Do morph in. Do morph into that spore. Future pulls away. And Nikich will maintain himself. Future threading the creep tumor, but won't quite get it. Nikich holds, takes the third base. And again, we are calming things down. Nikich going for a hatch gas pull, is droning this time, is not massing up lings, is not going for an all-in. Looks like we can settle into something a little bit more standard between both players here in the ace match. Despite the chaotic nature of this series, I may have spoken too soon because that is a 1-1-1. There's a starport before the CC, so a much more aggressive start out of Future. Not as chaotic as Game 1 or Game 2, but aggressive nonetheless. Aggressive nonetheless. I woke up 35 minutes ago, but I'm at the PC now. Whatever you say, Fiat. Whatever you say. Este Fiat. See, the Zerg players are apes today. True. Look, they're the only ones that we get here in Tuna Cup. Eva was an animal. Eon's an animal. Nikich a little bit as well. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. As Future, he's doubling down, by the way. It's an initial 1-1-1 opener. We have 2 more Raxes behind this. Third CC has been thrown down. Not too heavily delayed after the starport, but on the way nonetheless. Opening up Viking first. Viking will hunt down the Overlord, not going for the add-on swap, not going for Banshees, but instead prioritizing Stim. Stim is going to be prioritized here by Future. Is going to be rushing into it. Hellion is going to be shut down. Future being forced back for the time being. Likewise, Nikich getting a safety Bailey Nest is on the way alongside the lair. Bailey Nest has been thrown down, and Nikich just trying to settle into his 3-base economy, taking a 4th on low ground. Interesting 4th base location. It's quite exposed. It's next to a ramp, of course, next to all this high ground. Is vulnerable to something like a tank push. We'll see if Nikich can hold on to it. As Nikich did delay his upgrades. We delayed the double Evo chamber in favor of a faster lair and a faster Bailey Nest. So again, really safe play out of Nikich. It does mean that his upgrade is going to be later than he would have liked, but just playing safe and secure. This does allow Nikich to be safe against a Hellbat push, for example. We can see that there is no Hellbat push, but again, Nikich just trying to cover his corners and trying to cover himself. After what happened in Game 1 and Game 2, I don't blame Nikich. Future has been an animal, so I don't blame him. As the back at home Future is settling in, building up his tank count. Stim is done. We have combat shields on the way, medevacs on the horizon, and Future will soon move out. And he's building up towards this 1-1 timing. 1-1 is on the way alongside these medevacs. Is going to hit quite hard. Bearing in mind, Nikich will have 0-0 for the first push. But Bailing's speed is getting there. We're almost halfway done. Here we go. Future is moving out. Checking his vision. Future has not seen the 4th. Uh-oh. Future is rotating on the right-hand side to deny a 4th base. He'll deny a 5th at least, as a hatchery is now being taken. Aliens get caught out, so they get shut down on the left-hand side. Future does stim in. Future will come across the base, does force a cancel, clearing up a lot of creep. Future does see an opening. Again, Bailing's speed done in 10 seconds. Lings, they collapse on 4. They get us around the Bailings. Oh my god. Decent connections here from Nikich. Gets up with the tanks, brings down both of them. Yeah, the tanks do fall. Nikich is holding. But I spoke too soon. The Queens! The Queens are exposed. And they're going down. Oh, one of them does fall. Nice target firing at a Future. Does focus on the Bailings. And does hold his own. Reinforcements are on the way. Future, he does not back off. He keeps pushing. Again, these Queens are so low. And he will not get another. Barely not. But the reinforcements have arrived. Bailings are on the horizon. They're about to finish. They're being targeted down. Oh my god. They finish up just in time. They roll it in. They catch out the Marines. They force the pick up. And Nikich holds. Nikich, he holds on. He's on 4 bases. 5th base is on the way. Future once again looking for a cancel. Looks like he will. Spoke too soon. And the base does stand strong. Future, he scans. I mentioned before that he was hoping to shut down the 4th, but it was the 5th base. Now Future confirms that Nikich, he's on a solid economy. He's on 4 bases. So not what Future was hoping to see. Was a fully mining base. And Future, he has to calm down. He has to back off, taking another base. Nikich has breathing room. And can even keep going. Oh. Doesn't pull the trigger. Future once again, jumping in with 3 Marines. But bold move. Gets a couple of hits off, but we'll pull back. We'll pull away. To have Future rallying across. But again, he's got a lot of creep to work through. And by the time he does get through all this creep, we have Vipers. Vipers are coming out. Hive is done for Nikich. He's settling into Hive Tech, going for Ultras. So it's going to be Ling Bane into Viper Ultra. And can we get there? Can we make it to that point? And this kind of splitting just did begin. Just did start. Future slowly pushing forward. Getting within range. We spoke about this earlier. You know, this position here is brutal right next to this hatchery. See if Nikich can hold. As he does go for a big counter attack, but he runs into reinforcements. It's a massive amount of bio. Nikich has to pull away, but the Vipers have arrived. We go for the yoink. We get one tank. We get a tank, not much else. Nikich has to pull back. Ultras are on the horizon, and 3 Ultras on the way. They do take time, though. Take time to pump out. Future going for a split push. Max control, he pulls away. He shuts down the Banelings. Banelings are cleaned up. Future making his way towards the 5th base. Nikich has to split up his army. Oh, the mines! Not getting too much damage. More friendly fire than anything. Mine shots go off. The bio army is cleaned up, and Nikich, he's holding on. He defends his 5th. He defends his 4th base. He's catching reinforcements, and the Ultras, they're out. And they have kindness plating. Momentum about to swing in favor of Nikich. And Future, he's pulling back. And what are we doing? CCs. We're throwing down CCs, throwing down turrets, we're walling up. Future, it looks like he has recognized that this aggression that he's been going for, as he's been desperately trying to break the bases of Nikich, has failed. He has to pull back, he has to slow things down. Has to respect the Ultra army that Nikich has. I say that, still moving out with at least his bio, but he's leaving his tanks back at home. And we are settling into a much longer game. We're calming things down. We're getting into Ghost production, Liberators, more CCs, more sensor towers. We will be able to sink our teeth into the late game. We're getting there. Nice yoink. Oh, the pickup though. Oh, the the yoinks, the counter micro. No one loses anything. It was intense though. It was intense. As Nikich is getting ready for his own counter attack, denying the 5th base, delaying the 5th base, I should say. As the CC can lift. Good mine connections. Sorry, good Bailey connections though. They take down the mines. Force a lift on the CC. At the same time, we collapse on the 4th base, and Future, he's out of position. Bailey's, they crash in. They take down the mineral line and the CC as well. And can we get another? We can! Yeah, late to lift. 2 bases full. A mineral line is all 28 SCVs. And Nikich, he's in control. He's in control of this game. Control of this setup. Pulling away, massing up more Ling Bane. Future massing up his own army, pushing to the center, at least attempting to. But he needs time to recover, needs time to rebuild his economy. Down to 64 workers. More Ultras on the way. I would love to see a Spire. A Spire, Greater Spire even, upgrades. Just to be ready for a more Lib-heavy composition. As Liberators have begun, but haven't hit critical mass yet. We are getting into Libs. Oh, the snipes! Oh my god. The value trades here from Future. At the same time, we push in on the left-hand side. Getting a tank. Getting a second. Nice blinding cloud here on the bio army. Oh my god, we catch the Ghost! The Ghost, can they get out of here? They barely will slip away. We bring down everything else. The tanks, the bio army. Ultras are breaking in. And we make our way into the natural. We do snipe the detection, but there's still 2 more Overseers. And 2 more Overseers still up and running. And we chase this back all the way into the main. Banelings crash in. Ultras as well. They just want hugs, Sparky. They just want a hug. And they get them. Snipes are going off though. But in the midst of all this, the Ultras, they have control of the natural, they have control of the 3rd base, SCVs are falling left and right, and it looks like Nikich has broken the back of Future. We still have some Ghosts, that is true, but what about everything else? What about every other base? As every base is lifted, we have 1 CC up and running. But we lost 39 SCVs. After an intense back and forth here, GG gets called. Nikich will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth between Future and Nikich. It went the distance, went all the way to the ace match, but alas, Nikich does take the win in the end. It does take Future down, but it was a very intense series, and I appreciate it. You know, big shout out to Future. It was his debut in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. He has never played in this event before, never competed here. Is here for the first time, and to make it to the quarterfinals, to have this kind of back and forth against Nikich, I appreciate it. It was a good series. GG, well played.